Hello, you guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Take 30 podcast. So, I have my guest over here, Miss Michelle Passoff. Um, she, I met her at Podfest. She is amazing. She is, I think, originally from New York. Is that right?
New Jersey,
New
born in New
Jersey.
Jersey, but I spent my career in New York.
You spent your career in New York. So born originally in Jersey, spent her career in New York. So Michelle, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
Great. Glad it didn't rain. It
I know,
promised
right?
rain. I'm glad it didn't.
I know, right? Yeah, it's been hot here in Florida.
Yes, it has, but it's been
Yeah,
hot all over, so we're not
right.
away.
Yeah, right. It like
Friend,
today I
friend
was.
of mine told me yesterday that he was talking in New York to a friend in Florida, and uh, he said, "Well, it's the same degree here or there," and she said, "Yeah, but I'm by a pool down in Florida." So that might be the only difference.
Right. Yeah. I think yeah. Um I know in Canada cuz my both my parents were in Canada. I actually had to work during the time that they were away. In Canada they have like a nice breeze during the summertime. So especially at nights like when it cools down, it's like it's nice. It's like it's not too hot and it's not too cold, but you do get a breeze in Canada, which is pretty cool.
Helps. It
Yeah. Um,
there's always air conditioning.
right, right.
Stay inside until later in the day. That's my advice.
Exactly. I agree with that. So Michelle, so the first question I like to ask my guests is, what is something you've learned in the last few weeks, or what's something challenging that's happened in the last few weeks? And it can be anything. So an example would be maybe you found an interesting article, you read a book that you read that you found very intriguing, or maybe you saw something on TV that, interests you.
Well, I'm planning a trip. We haven't gone on a vacation in a couple of years, actually. I'm in the process of writing a book, so I've been really, really focused on that and had no time to get away. But I finished it. It's in the hands of an editor, so I'm taking a month off, and we're traveling to Europe. My husband's Belgium,
Mhm,
and we're going to visit family and friends in all over Europe, Belgium, Switzerland, and France.
mhm.
And I didn't want to take my computer because I didn't want to risk it going through, uh, the machines at the airport, and I didn't want to risk losing it or dumping, wine from the wine country there. I just didn't want to lose that computer. So I decided to use my iPad, which I never really do. The only thing I used to use it for was to Google when I had an estate sale company. And I learned how to take my USB and load it onto my iPad so
Mhm.
that I take the small, light iPad with me. So I had my documents that I wanted to have on hand. And that was a revelation. And I decided from now on, I'm going to use my iPad more often and keep learning more and more how I can have it with me on the go.
Oh, that's interesting. So you'll be like traveling to Europe like for the whole month of August.
For the whole month,
Oh, nice.
we have scheduled. That was another thing. We had scheduled all these meetups with family and friends.
Mm.
And believe it or not, I'm not a big fan of French food. And
Oh,
Belgium
okay.
is really has the cuisine of a couple of countries because it's it has a German part, a Dutch part, and a French part. And I'm not a big fan of that food. And when I was planning my meetups, I actually wanted Asian food, Indian food, and Italian food. And I
Mhm.
said, maybe that's unorthodox to do in a French speaking country, but I managed to Google the restaurants with the food I like to eat and make appointments in restaurants that I preferred. And that was a learning point that I could do that. And they have some great restaurants there that are to my taste preferences. So that was a learning point.
Ooh, okay. That's it. That's interesting. Well, that sounds like fun. I'm sure you're looking forward to just getting away, relaxing, enjoying um family, friends.
Yeah.
Um yeah. I that sounds like a lot of fun.
Mhm.
So you have a podcast, but before we get into that, just tell us just a little bit about yourself and where you grew up and stuff like that.
Okay, well, like I said, I'm from New Jersey, one of the
Mhm.
smallest states in the union, but even though it was in the country, it was in the suburbs of New York City. So when I finished my education at Syracuse University, at School of Communications in magazine journalism, I moved to New York. I spent 30 years there. And there's no better city in the world, as far as I'm concerned, than New York City. So, on our way to Belgium, by the way, we are going to spend 5 days back in the Big Apple. And
Ooh, okay.
yeah, that's going to be fun too. We're going to see a couple of Broadway shows. I love that. I had a career actually in public relations. I was a media consultant for large companies who sold consumer products. And at the same time that I was uh, on Madison Avenue doing my media thing, I was engaged in personal growth and development courses uh, as I learned about myself and being a business person and being effectively in relationships. I was in the new age, as they used to say. And at the end of it, not the end of it, but after 15 years of doing courses of personal growth and development, I said, what did I learn? I have to come to a conclusion. And
Mhm,
my conclusion was you get rid of what you don't want, need, and use and love in your life, and you focus on who you are, what you want with nothing in the way. And that equates to a message called clean your clutter of all kinds.
mhm,
So long story short, wrote a book about that, traveled around the world talking about conventional clutter in an unconventional way. And now I am revisiting that whole conversation about clutter and going next level clutter
mhm,
and talking to the baby boomer generation about areas of life that can be confounding and confronting, but when they're addressed, will invigorate your life and create a legacy, not a mess. So I'm engaged in a podcast on that and writing a book about that, and I have another um, little spiral book that is about creating a legacy, not a mess, and
mhm,
taking the initiative just when you think you're going to kick up your feet and have the do nothing years, that you can still be ambitious and take initiative and have the unimaginable things. You
mhm.
can start doing things you never even believed if you get rid of your stuff that you don't need. So I'm married. I have 5 grandchildren, although I have 5 great grandchildren, but I have no children. So try to do the
Mhm.
math on that. Um, I enjoy it.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. Let's see. So how old are your great grandchildren?
No, they're not great grandchildren. They are. I'm not that old.
Oh, okay.
They're my children, my grandchildren. They're my husband's
Oh,
sons.
oh, grandchildren. Okay.
They range in age from 8 to 18.
8 to 18. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
See, I have three nephews. The twins, two of which are twins, and then the older one is 6. The twins just had their 5th birthday yesterday, and
the
they're a ball of
cutest.
energy.
They're cute. They're really. I never knew I liked children before I had grandchildren. So
Ah,
it's one of the great pleasures of my life.
that's awesome. Okay, so you do have a podcast, and it's Decluttering 55 Up, right? Okay,
55, Cluttering 55 plus with Michelle Passoff.
with Miss
It's
Michelle Passoff.
Yeah, it's on YouTube and audio platforms of all kinds. And
Okay.
I do that launch weekly. So I
Mhm,
interview experts, authors, geeks, and authorities on next level clutter topics. I don't consider myself an expert in all these topics. I
mhm,
consider myself a facilitator of a conversation that will inspire people to take topics that are confronting or confounding for them out from under the carpet into the light of day to get informed about what they need to do in order to get things done in those areas. So, what are those areas that we talk about? We talk about health and fitness,
Mhm.
digital decluttering, getting your financial house in order, getting your legal papers in order, making decisions about where you want to live and what you want to do next in life. Also, writing a memoir, social relationships, and at the end of the day, your final arrangements. So,
Mhm.
if you think it's the do nothing years as you age, it's not. There's plenty to do, and you may not do everything, but
Mhm.
the things that you're avoiding are specifically intriguing to dig your heels in and get busy with.
Oh, that's amazing. So like, okay, based on so you interviewed different experts. So
Yes.
I want to know, what are some unique, less common strategies for decluttering that might be effective for someone who's over the age of 55?
Well, I think I would start with the basics. Like if you
Mhm.
have physical clutter,
Mhm.
too many papers, too many clothes, too much stuff, it will give you more flexibility in your life at any age, but especially as you're over the age of 55. You don't know where you're going to live, but you don't want to be stopped from moving if you don't clean your clutter. But you go, oh God, there's too much stuff to move. I have to not bother with that. I'm staying where I am. It
Mhm.
gives you, if you clean the physical clutter first,
Mhm.
you will have flexibility to stay where you are. Why
Mhm.
not if you want to do that? But you
Mhm.
won't have anything in the way of moving. If you eventually get into a wheelchair or a cane, or you have guests that have those kind of apparatus and they want to get around, it'll give you that flexibility to move or to have guests that need to move. It will, if you want to relocate, it will give you the flexibility to make that choice to just do it rather than have to spend, 3 months or 4 months or 5 months cleaning up. So
Right.
start with the hardest part first if you can, or the easiest first place if you want to warm up. But take on that garage and take on left to right, item to item in a clothes closet, and get out the clothes you don't wear, that don't fit, that are out of style. And you know you might move everything to one spot to have a yard sale or an estate sale. You might donate everything. You might have all of the family come in and take what they want. But the thing is, only have left what you want and need and use, and what you're going to take with you should you move anywhere, or what you're going to use if you stay. So start with the basics. That's my, and then go from there.
Yeah, I agree with that because I think um especially we like to we have so much clothes, let's say, and we might want to keep them for like memories of, oh, my grandfather gave it to me, oh, and then we end up having so much clothes that we hardly use, we hardly wear, um and uh, we ended up hoarding stuff because we have so much stuff that, like, we don't know. We always say that we're going to use them and then we never do.
Clothes
And
are
that
the clothes are really the easiest part. It's
Mhm.
um, the the clothes are the easiest part. It's, maybe you don't want to get rid. It's the garages that really get stuck with stuff that,
Mhm.
well, you have those 14 hammers and you have that lawnmower that doesn't work and you don't do the lawn anymore anyway. So you're, hiring a landscaping maintenance person, or,
Mhm.
just, it's the place that you least like to go because it's where you threw everything you didn't know what to do with. But
Mhm.
take it on, because if you go one item at a time, left to right through the physical stuff, then you'll be more free. And I have a metaphysical um, aspect of the way I approach cleaning clutter. It's not just to be neat and tidy. Something
Right.
happens in your life when you move the energy of stuff and
Mhm.
make space for what you want. You'll see that in the empty space that you create, more, not less, of what you want comes into it. So it's really fun to take that on as an experiment. And
Mhm.
then when it comes to doing the next level clutter stuff, which is really what I talk about now in Decluttering 55 plus, on my
Mhm.
website, www.decluttering55plus.com, or on
Mhm.
my podcast, Decluttering 55 Plus with Michelle Passoff. You will
Mhm.
see that then it comes to, you'll be more free when it comes to health and fitness. Like the very first thing as you're aging that you want to pay attention to is staying healthy and well. So
Mhm.
you may not know that if you are on Medicare, that there's many Medicare programs, most Medicare programs, where you can get silver sneakers or Renew Active, and you have free access to gyms where you can swim and take classes and go on, the machines, so that you can get a routine going that will keep you fit, because it's a little hard to go on vacations around the world or play with your grandkids, or do anything if you can't walk from your
Mhm.
car to the Walmart. So the
Mhm.
very simple things, health and fitness is the very first thing to address. And then to take on, instead of to take on your digital decluttering or
Mhm.
digital devices. Like a lot of people have beliefs like, oh my God, it's over my head. I wasn't born with a computer in my hands, a phone in my hands, and I can't do it. On all areas of next level clutter, people have beliefs that prevent them from really having the freedom to address those areas. So I think one of the very first things you have to do, with whether it's physical clutter or health or getting your will in order or deciding where to move or what to do in retirement, is to do a check of how you think about those things. If you
Mhm.
think in a way that's not going to give you freedom to take action, then the very first part of the clutter that is the belief. So you got to
Mhm.
dump the bad
Mhm.
belief and trade it up for something that's enthusiastic and inviting to have you take it on. So with computers, you
Mhm.
might say, I'm going to learn every, now I'm not the only one. Everybody is learning how to use these devices so that they're an asset and not, something that's going to thwart you from your life. Like,
Right.
oh, you're going to scam me, so I'm not going to get on the computer. No,
Mhm.
learn how to protect yourself then. You have to
Mhm.
take initiative and be ambitious as you age, and at any age. Taking initiative in your life will give you a good life.
Yeah. I agree. Like, take initiative and like, you know, and I agree with you. Like with clutter, it just starts. You start small. Like start with,
Yeah.
okay, what are you not using anymore? Okay, and then put that into, maybe that could go into the donation pile. And I can tell you how much clothes I got, and I had a big bag of clothes that I donated to Goodwill, and I still have more. um, so
That
like
just goes to
even
show you, Erica, maybe what you have to say is, I'm going to buy less. You know,
right.
we don't have to spend our money on stuff. How
Hmm.
about you go to a great play, or you go have a great boat ride for dinner around the bay? Have an experience and something you could savor that's not physical stuff. And
Hmm.
that would be a way to repurpose your money and enhance your life. You don't have to buy more stuff. You don't have to
Right.
go to Amazon every day and have some delivery man leave packages at your door on a regular basis. You just don't.
Hmm.
Rethink what you're using.
Hmm. Yeah, that's I agree with that. And for
I
those.
Something we haven't talked about, I'll mention, is
Mhm.
I have a spiral book called
Mhm.
Decluttering 55 Plus. It's 29 illustrations that prompt you to get things done. This is perfect that it came up. Remember, you're over 55, not five. So instead
Mhm.
of going, I don't want to, I'm not going to do it, you can change your tune. You can say, you know what? I'm taking it on. It's going to invigorate my life. It's going to allow me to leave a legacy, not a mess. And then you get busy and watch and see, the miracles that come into your life. And
Mhm.
if you're not going to do it alone, you can get help. There are people who will help you go through all those photos that you have. There's people that will help you go through your paperwork and your closets and your attic and your basement. There is help. So don't be afraid to say you're not going to do it on your own. Then, ask your kids or hire a professional, but get it done. So this is available now on Amazon.com. It's called Decluttering 55 Plus, Wisdoms to Create a Legacy, Not a Mess. And it's either on Amazon.com or layitflat.com. Lay It Flat is a company that sells spiral books. And, it's something to keep on your desktop. You flip a
Mhm.
page, it gives you a prompt, and uh, it makes you start thinking about how that can make a difference in your life. To take on something like, are you going to use a physical calendar, or are you going to use your phone to keep your appointments and keep your schedule? But keeping a schedule is very important to staying clutter free.
Mhm.
If you think about how you can know in advance whether or not your day is going to be aggravating or fun and freeing, an accomplishment, because you made that schedule. And if you didn't make a schedule, it's not going to be all that much fun. It's going to be at the effect of whatever somebody else is going to tell you to do. If you set your schedule, you're going to know you have enough time in between appointments to get from one to the other. You know that what you're doing is going to be what you want in order to accomplish something. So keeping a schedule is part of being clutter free, and making that schedule, you could tell in advance, this is what I'm going to do. And yeah, at the end of the day, I'm going to be satisfied. And satisfaction is something nobody doesn't want. Everybody wants to
Right.
be satisfied at the end of the day. So,
Mhm.
um, that would be something you could keep on your desk to remind you to keep your calendar as your GPS for life.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so you guys heard Michelle. So your little is that a it's not a book, it's a that thing that you have.
Yeah, it is a book. It's a
It is a
spiral
book.
book.
It's a spiral book.
It's a book.
So
It's a book of illustrations, and it's
yeah.
called Decluttering 55 Plus: Wisdoms to Create a Legacy, Not a Mess. And you can find it at Amazon.com or layitflat.com.
Lateflat.com. Is it also available on your website?
Well, you'll be directed to Amazon or layitflat.
Oh, okay. I
That what I
see.
said? Go to www.decluttering55plus.com, and you will see some things about the podcast, some things about the books. You will find blogs there. And
Mhm.
most of all, you can sign up on the Let's Connect button so that you can be in touch with me, and we can send you news you can use through that website. And share your triumphs, share your challenges. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, so you guys heard Michelle. So you can find her book on Amazon and make sure to purchase it because I think this would be like a good tool, for everyone to have like, you
It's a
know,
great gift. Christmas is coming, and
mhm.
it's a great stocking stuffer. It's a great acknowledgement for uh, friends and family for all occasions.
Yeah. Yeah, so you guys can, even buy one for yourself, gift it to somebody. Useful tool to have. You can put it flat on your desk and definitely I will be getting mine for sure.
You lay it like a tent on your desk, and
Yes.
that you keep it there, and that serves as a prompt. I've had one of these on my desk for 30 years, and
Mhm.
every once in a while I'll go by it and I'll flip the page, and it will
Mhm.
give me another message. This says plan ahead.
Mhm.
Even if you don't think you should, it might be time to pre-plan your final arrangements. Now, that
Right.
doesn't mean you're going to roll over and die tomorrow. It just means that when you do, your family won't be burdened by having to decide whether you should be buried or cremated, or, do you want this music or that gift or message to be given to the ones you love. So, have it be a celebration, not a time to really mourn.
Right. I love that. So Michelle, I think we covered quite a bit of stuff here.
Yeah.
So I want to know, so self-care is the most talked about topic. You hear it all over social media, you hear it all over the news. I want to know, so how do you define self-care? So what does self-care mean to you? And what self-care activities do you incorporate in your life?
Well, I think first and foremost, the important self care that I do is I have a regular exercise routine. And it when I was younger, it was an extravagance to have a personal trainer. So
Mhm,
I did go to classes and I did go on the treadmill and I did do walking, but I never had a personal trainer because it was an extravagance. As
mhm,
I age, I don't consider it an extravagance anymore. I consider it a necessity because it is
mhm,
something I'm willing to invest in as a way to invest in myself and my well being. Secondly, I think relationships. One of the most astonishing things I did not know, and this may have been obvious to everybody but me, but the
mhm,
importance of social relationships is, as you age, is more important than how much you eat and what you eat and if you exercise and even your health, going to your doctors and stuff like that. Social relationships um, are so important. They're primary. So nurturing um, your intimate relationship, if you're married or have a partner, or you know, having if you don't have one, maybe get one, but that's
mhm,
important. Then your friends and your family, and maybe to reinvigorate or rekindle relationships that you've let fade or that you've lost.
mhm.
Um, Really, that circle of people around you is so important and part of a self care routine. You know, you may have thought I was going to talk about skincare routines or your hair routines. No, I think your health and fitness and your relationships are some of the most primary things you could do to care for yourself.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think, I mean, self-care looks different for everyone, but I think when it comes to self-care, it's not just about going to the nail salon and getting your nails done,
Right.
or going to the hair store and getting and washing your hair and, stuff like that. I Self-care is more than that. The way I define self-care is like what do I need in the moment? Like what are my needs? So like whether that is to, really just sit down and take time to reflect. And also exercise. Exercise, I think,
Yes,
is very important for not only both your physical health, but your mental health as well.
absolutely.
So like for me, it's very important that in the mornings I'll go out to the gym, or if not, if I don't go to the gym, I'll walk. Um, and just spending time in nature, and also like you said with with relationships, um, connecting with others.
Yes.
That's also important. Taking time away from social media, because I find that social media, at times we're so, especially Gen Z, and I'm Gen Z as well. I'm just an
Yeah.
older Gen Z. I was born 1999. So, anyway, we're so connected to our phones
Yeah.
that our phones are becoming like so addicting, where we can't even put it down for even just 2 seconds.
Yeah,
So
and
just take.
if you are going to connect, one of the ways you can connect is take a class.
Mhm,
Um, if you're going to game, then do it. You can even do it with other people online. So
mhm,
you use it in a productive way
mhm,
that does do what technology is supposed to do, which is connect you, not
mhm,
have you absence yourself from your surroundings. And I agree that limiting it, using it, you have to take the initiative to say, am I using technology to remove myself, or am I
mhm,
using technology to connect?
mhm.
So you have to be self generative on tell the truth about that.
Yeah, for sure. And the thing is, like, again, like we're so into our phones sometimes that like, it can become addicting. And I mean, like we, it's good. I do like social media, but like, to an extent where like, um, we're to the point where like I want to have a healthy balance, um, because we get so caught up, with social media, and we're so focused on everybody's highlight reel, because everybody's, on social media, talks about their successes, which is great, but we find ourselves comparing ourselves to other people,
Oh, absolutely.
and so
Yeah,
that's when I say,
and projecting an image that isn't authentic. Of
right,
course,
exactly.
you don't want, like you, oh, look where I am and look who I'm with and look what I'm doing and look what I'm wearing. You
Mhm.
know, if you're, I don't know, it's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, it's not healthy in a way. So like just taking time, yeah, you can go on social media, but like have a time where um maybe at such and such a time, maybe okay, I'll go on social media for an hour and just maybe chat with a friend or something. But you but you but use it in a way to like, I don't know, how can I say it? Use it, have a healthy balance is what I'm trying to say. And this is what I especially encourage anybody listening to the podcast. Um, take time off social media and go outside and, connect, have some social interactions, join a class, join a yoga class, join any kind of class. But find hobbies and stuff that you enjoy.
Exactly.
Yeah. But thank you so much, Michelle, for coming on the show. Where can all of my people who are listening to this, my audience, find you on social
Yeah, if
media?
your audience is of all ages,
Hmm.
if you're young and you have parents or grandparents that you want to tell about this, what I'm talking about, turn them on to. If you're it, turn them on to what I'm talking about. If you're an older listener, then you're in. But the place to go is www.decluttering55plus.com. You can watch my podcast, Decluttering 55 Plus with Michelle Passoff, and you can see that on YouTube or on audio platforms. And you can buy my book at Amazon or layitflat.com, and that's Decluttering 55 Plus Wisdoms to Create a Legacy, Not a Mess. So go to my Let's Connect button on the website and connect with me. Ask your questions, share your challenges, and let's get free together.
Together. Yes. Yes. Let's get clutter free.
In all
um,
aspects, mental,
and all
emotional,
last
spiritual.
Yes, I agree. So all right, you guys. So Michelle, I will link all of Michelle's social media, her website, and her book in the show notes below. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to listen to this episode. Please make sure to leave me a review on Apple Podcasts and rate my podcast on Spotify as well. Please give it 5 stars. I'd love to hear your feedback, show your support, and let me know what other topics you want me to cover in on the show, and I'll definitely cover it. But thank you so much for taking the
Thank you.
time to
It was
talk
a pleasure to
to
be with
me.
you. Even though I can't see you all out there, it was a pleasure for me. Thank you.
Yes, yeah. All right, you guys. So I will link all of my social media in the show notes below so you can follow the Take 30 podcast on Instagram. I'm also on TikTok, take.30 with Erykah. And I'm also on Facebook. Just search the Take 30 podcast. I will link all of my social media in the show notes below. Make sure to take some time for yourself and for you. Make sure to go outside, connect, do something nice for somebody else. I
And that's
definitely encourage that. Um, I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you guys in the next episode. Bye.
bye.